Wow, fantastic ad, everybody. We all love that one. And thank you for joining us back here again with Late Night with Los. And our next guest, he's coming all the way from his room. He's an analyst for Correlate Gaming, and he's got a great set of hair on his head. Everybody, give it up for Beora! Woo!
I've never seen someone do a stream like this, actually. Pretty cool.
Welcome to the show, man. Thank you for joining us today. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy. I just woke up from a nap, actually.
You just woke up from a nap. I mean,
yeah.
it's we're not gonna talk about when this was recorded. It's an appropriate nap time. A good time for that. Not bad. So, a tradition around these parts is to always ask, what is your gamer name, or how'd you get it? Beora. You gave me either of those options before we came out onto the stage. So how did you come up with that name?
The name comes from. So I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and when I was in college, so this is like I came up with this name like 5 years ago, or like 6 years ago, and it was basically just a name that I created for a city that was in a campaign that I was running as like a DM. And then I just liked it, so I just used it for like I think I used it for like a random character in a game at some point. I don't remember what game it was, but like, and then I just kept it as like my uh gamer name.
How long have you had that? How long ago was that campaign?
I mean, the name Beora has been around for a while for me, but actually using it like in a game, I have no idea. Not super long. I mean, I didn't whenever season 9 was, I guess. So that's not too long ago, like 2.5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, counting in League of Legends seasons does not work well for me. I have no idea what that timeline is. I guess.
Seasons are basically, it's like just 1 year a season. So we're in season 11 now. So like 2.5 years ago,
Okay,
basically.
all right, not bad. So your line of expertise is in League of Legends. So how did you first get into this game?
A childhood friend of mine, it's like a friend that I used to play video games with all the time, introduced me to it around like 2.5 years ago, basically. Um, and then I played it for a while. Switched roles, played it, kept playing it, and then I started coaching like a year and a half ago. Um, and then just kept working my way up the ladder until eventually I am where I am now, basically.
I mean, you definitely grinded your ass off if you made it up to work with Counterlogic Gaming, but I saw that your profile, or at least your professional portfolio, said that you were in plat for the seasons that you've played. Does rank correlate at all with your ability to work as a coach?
It does. I think it really does, but I'm not a coach. Like my job doesn't really require like for me, the way I came into the game was I played StarCraft for a while. I was pretty high rated in StarCraft. Um, and then I moved to League, and a lot of the like theory of how to win a game in general. I mean, it doesn't translate, obviously the same way, but like I climbed to plat in mid, then immediately switched roles, climbed to plat in jungle, and then switch roles, did it in top, and like uh, that's enough to just like know enough about the game to do my job. Like I don't, would I know the matchups a little bit better if I climbed higher? Probably, yeah. But also, I can just ask a pro player. Like, I don't need to know. I don't need to do it myself. I can just ask people. Like, there are smarter people than me that I can use as resources to do my job. My job, like, a lot of the things that I need to do my job are to study. Like, I need to study a lot about the game. And there are ways to do that. You can do that by playing, but you can also just do it by, like I said, just research, like asking those smarter people, and learning what you need to know that way. So it does. I mean, I think it does. What you asked is a sort of different question, which is, in order to coach the game, like to command a team of 5 pro players, yeah, you should be, if not a pro player, you should be pretty high rated. Like Otherwise, one, you're not going to get any respect from the players, and two, you're probably going to waste a lot of their time. Usually, like, and this isn't something that I didn't used to think actually. Before I like joined pro league, um, I didn't actually feel that way. I was like, oh no, I mean, you can definitely, you don't have to be that high rated to, but no, you do. Like, you do. You just have to. Like, there's a big difference. I'd say.
So it's that
But for
respect
me,
thing that would be
it's
a major factor, or what do you think is like? Is it just the all-encompassing knowledge of the game, your experience? What would it be that you need to have a high rank for?
it's both. I mean, it's both of those two things that you just said. Like, it's you need to have the way you gain respect from your players is by demonstrating value to them, and the way you do that is by having good ideas, or ideas that lead to wins, basically. And oftentimes, if you don't have, I mean, a lot of the conversations that are going to happen in VOD review happen fast, like, and you need to be able to, like, the fundamentals of the game, you got to have them quick, because the players do, and if you don't, if you don't, they're going to know. Like, you can't just like fake it. So, um, you need like, yeah, and that kind of answers the question, I think. But um, kind of losing my train of thought. If you have any other, like, did that answer the question? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you did a good job. I just thought you had more. So, how did you first get into analyst work? You were playing the game, you were grinding it out. How did you first make that step into a more of a side supplemental position to gaming itself in analyst or
So
assisting
yeah,
teams?
the way it happened was basically while I was working with teams. So Um, I started off, like I said, I was like working with like a low diamond team, and then I was coaching. It climbed higher and higher. You work with higher and higher ranked players, basically. Um, and while I was working with players around like Grandmaster Challenger, I was also building like a portfolio, which is as far as like analyst goes, I was doing a portfolio of like scouting stuff, so like scouting reports, reports on like item numbers and data, like patch changes, etc. And then I just made, like kind of how I have that website that you saw, like with the portfolio of like my scouting report, etc. I kind of had one of those, but it was just like a little imager album, and then it had just what I can do basically, and uh, and then I posted that as like a looking for team thing, and then the way it goes is like you'll post like looking for team, and then a bunch of people will like retweet it, and then usually, I mean, I don't know how it goes for everyone, but the way it worked for me was basically, CLG saw it. I think that someone recommended me. I don't know who. I think it was Vigar, but it might have been like Benji. I don't remember who said someone recommended me, but I don't know who it was. But basically, someone recommended me, and then they reached out to me in Twitter DM and just said, "Hey, we're looking for an analyst. You should apply." And then I did, and then it was like a month long sort of application process with a few meetings with like the coaching staff, with the managerial staff, etc. And then they had me do, as like a trial run, they had me do like a full scouting presentation for them on 100 Thieves at the time, who like just acquired the full Golden Guardians roster. So I basically did a scouting report on the old Golden Guardians, and then they liked it, and then that's how I got the job, basically.
So, what is involved in a scouting report? What do you do for that? How do you, I guess, analyze people coming into a new team?
Well, that I mean, coming into a new team is really hard because you don't know how they play together. It's a lot easier once the season started and you've seen some games from them, like scrims or like, um, you know, what have you, like scrims or if you see them on stage, etc. But basically, you just look at things like the way they set up level one, the way they set up their wards usually, jungle pathing. That is pretty common. You look at like drafting stuff, um like who's most often getting draft resources, what are they first picking right now usually, who's getting counterpick, like what do they counterpick in certain situations, what are they banning, what are they playing in solo queue, etc. You just look at those things and you just make a report on those trends basically.
So, is it just compiling data, or are you making, assumptions or
No,
conclusions
it's a
based
lot
off
of
of
I
them.
mean, it's both. It's like you collect the data and then you have to analyze it, right? That's the job of the analyst. Like anyone can collect the data, but my job is to look at um like one thing that I forgot to mention is like VOD, when you analyze VODs, like you're looking at like 6 games maybe or like 6 or 7 games, you're looking at, the top laner, like how's he playing the lane, like um you're looking at the jungler, like how is he pathing? These things that like you see if you looked at the scouting report that was in the website, like I have the notes for the players in there, and so if you're ever curious about what that looks like, you can just look. Um, it's got like I can read you. I can just pull it up. I'll read you examples.
Yeah, I want to hear it right from the creator. I could read, but hearing it from the man who wrote it himself, who did the data
Actually,
digging, it
that's
feels a
pretty
lot better.
impressive. Pretty impressive that you can read actually. Um, so for example, and if you wanna, I can send you this as like an asset if you wanna just pull it up on screen. It's up to you. Or I can share my screen actually. Maybe I don't know if you have a way to make the screen like full screen.
I think we have the technology.
Yeah, I can just show you. Um, so like this is a report that I did for um
Oh, it's
a
backwards.
team that was facing Team Liquid Academy in a tournament. And so basically the way that works with the scouting report is I have um let me know when you're ready actually
Oh, we
if you
got
need me
it. We
to.
got it here.
You good? Okay. Basically, I have like these are level 1 maps. So this is like over the course of like 6 blue side games or something. I don't remember how many it was, but it's like I'm creating maps to show what they do level 1, and I put them in a way that you can like flip through them, and you can see like if you look at, for example, their top laner Jenkins, right? Like the way he stands level 1 every game is very different from most top laners in the sense that he's always sitting in this brush. And so that's like something you can punish, right? You can like wrap them around. You can have someone, if they have a dash, they go through here. Bring 2 people around this way, 1 guy around this way, and you kill him, right? Or their bot laner, right? He's always standing outside of this little tri brush most of the time. Like you put a ward in this brush, see if he's standing outside of there. If he is standing in the brush, then whatever, you just leave. That's fine. But if he is outside of it, he doesn't see the ward, and you have people wrap him. You have someone over the wall, like a hook champ or something, and you just kill him that way. Like these are things that you can see just from trends from looking at this stuff. And then this is like jungle pathing stuff. So like tracking how the jungler's pathing most games. Um, like this is important to know when he's going for, this is a pretty unique thing that junglers do, which is like a level 2 gank. So when he's playing Trundle, uh, he goes for this play. Let me see, there's another one too, this one here. But notice when he gets a leash, like it's like 7 seconds earlier than when he didn't get a leash. So like timing wise, it's important to know. Also, these games were the games where he did that were the games where he went up in this brush here. There should be another one, but I didn't put it in the. Uh, or I think he does it later. I remember there's like 2 games where he does this, but basically, I mean, it's just stuff like that. You're looking for trends, basically. Um, and there's also like warding maps too, like showing where the players ward at certain times. Like their top laner is most likely going to be warding in this brush here. This ward was a very specific one that didn't really matter. But most of the time he's going to ward here, or this brush here is pretty unique in that like he's very consistently warding this lane brush here, which not a lot of top laners do. So you can punish him if you can bait him into doing that and then make him push out the wave, so that he doesn't have a ward for himself. Like these things, I don't know, you just keep track of basically. And then there are like notes here. I don't remember what I wrote, but yeah, I talked about this. Like really likes to position pretty aggressively. Level 1.
So is this
Like just
what you're
talking about
doing
how.
in like a day to day as an analyst? You're coming up with this and then just strategizing with the team.
Yeah, I mean the way it works is basically like um I'll go you can put back to my camera if you want. Or actually I need to do that, right? Hold on.
Yeah, that's the responsibility is on you.
Yeah, sorry about that. So basically,
No
yeah.
worries.
The way it works is essentially I um so if you take it like day by day, right? Monday is like usually an off day. Sometimes it's like an overflow day if I need to get some stuff done, for a few hours. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is scrims. And on scrim days, usually I'm working on different projects. Like I'm working on tracking, item builds, like seeing what the best efficiency is for certain items, or like anything that the players want me to track. Like, um, like they'll reach out to me, be like, "Hey, can you look into X, Y, and Z?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, how does this matchup go? Look into it. Ask around, watch some videos, and get back to them. Um, and then the game days are going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think. Honestly, can't remember. It's been a while since the season was on. I think it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So then I'll work Friday morning, do the scouting report, present it to the team like 2 hours before the game, and then the next day do the next scouting report, present it. Next day scouting report, present it basically. Because we don't know the side that we're playing until the night before, so usually I just do it once we get the side. I wake up at like 6 a.m., have it done by like whenever we present. I don't know, like 4 or 5 p.m. and then present it, and then that's the week, and then Monday resets.
How long does it take to make a scouting report?
I mean, depends on the time of year. Like early in the year, it takes longer because there aren't any established trends, so everything has to be done kind of from scratch, so it takes a little bit longer. But as the year goes on, it's pretty easy to just like make the maps. Like the main thing is making those level 1 maps because it's pretty easy to look at. If you have like notes on someone already, people don't change very much over the course of the year, I learned. So you just need to look and see if they've changed. And if they haven't, then you just keep kind of the old notes. You change like one or two things. Usually like only one or two things changes per time that we face them, which is like a span of 3 months. Um, so it gets kind of easier as the year goes on, but in the earlier parts of the year it takes a little bit longer.
Well, I think, we've just discovered the key to having a unbeatable squad. It's have zero consistency and just change it every single time
Uh,
with no pattern,
yeah.
and then you become unbeatable, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's how that works. No, that would be very bad. Like you'll never grow as a team if you're not consistent.
Okay. Well, what is it like working with the team? Have you noticed anything very different because you've worked with high level teams like GM squads moving into CLG? Is there a culture difference, a morale difference, just a mental difference that you've noticed between these two levels of play?
Yeah, I mean the difference is resources, right? Like teams below pro or academy, or like some very few high amateur teams don't have the resources that a pro team has. Like when I was working with those other teams, it was just me. I was just doing everything. So like you can't, the amount of like energy that the team will have is just gonna be less in general. And also they're not getting paid. So like I don't know, it's just a difference, There's a big difference between the two things.
Well, were you getting paid when you were working with those teams?
No. I mean no one was. No one gets paid in amateur. Like that's just not how it works. Or like unless you're depend or sorry, no one gets paid below um like probably the top 5 teams in amateur, and then academy and pro obviously get paid. But there's no money in this scene. I mean, people do it because they want to, they're trying to live the dream, right? I mean, like, are you getting paid right now doing this show? But you just love to do it, right? Like, that's how it works.
I don't know. Maybe someone will drop a sub right now when this actually happens. So, somebody, come
True.
on, any
No, sorry,
primers?
I didn't mean to be rude. I used to do the same grind. Like, it's
No,
just the way it
no,
is,
no,
right?
it's
Like,
totally fine. But when you said that, I was like, oh shit, you are right.
yeah, no, it's just how it goes. Like, you're just trying to live the dream. Um, but yeah, I mean, the difference between that and pro is just at pro level, like, you have the resources and the comfort to like it's a lot easier to not get tilted. I mean, there it's like a trade-off, right? It's also easier to get tilted because it's a more competitive atmosphere. So don't get me wrong, but like it's easier to take a step back and be like, you know, we have the resources to overcome whatever we're going through right now. We just need to pick it back up, kind of thing.
How hard does it hit when you take a loss in the season? Like, I
Oh,
don't know.
it fucking blows, bro. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
No, no,
Sorry,
yeah,
but
no, go right ahead.
it sucks. I mean, the morale boost that you get from a win is like crazy. Um, going the I mean, our season was not good. We like were like bombed out. really hard. And having a season like that sucks. The burnout afterwards takes a long time to recover from, for sure. So, uh, but like when we would get like we had like a 3-0 weekend, and that weekend was like crazy, like euphoria. Like that it was nuts. So, and I can't imagine. Like it must be so much easier for teams that like the top few teams who get like a pretty consistent flow of wins to keep their mental and keep improving. Because oh my god, it's so hard. If you get a 0-3 weekend, it's fucking tough to like bounce back. I mean, we do it like we're professionals, right? But God, it blows.
So when you take a loss, does it feel like everybody has done something wrong and everybody has to work
Yeah.
together?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, every time. You're never gonna be in a situation where someone's like, "Oh, it was X person." It was like, "No, we fucked up as a team." Like, well, we gotta pull it together. Like, that's just how it goes. It's a team sport. Like,
Does it
I
inspire
mean,
you
it's
to
very
just
easy.
go extra hard
Yeah,
in the next week?
yeah. I mean, it always does. But then that comes with the cost of burnout, right? Which is like the problem. That's what I was saying before. Like, the burnout after a split of losses like that is just so insane.
Well, how are you feeling in the off season, preparing for what would be the 2022 season?
I'm feeling fine now. It's rough for like a few months, but
I mean, I guess you had some time for
Worlds,
recovery, right?
yeah, I had some time. I had more time than every other team, some would say.
So hey, you know what?
Um,
That's a good thing, right? You just
I don't know about that, brother, but no, it's been good. Worlds definitely put a little fire back in my heart, so been getting back into it since Worlds started again.
How do you feel about World so far? Who do you think's taking the chip?
It's Damwon probably. I mean, unless T1 beats them, and then it's T1. But
No
I
hope
can't
for NA?
imagine. Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, NA is gonna go all the way. NA will win. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's Damwon for sure. Um, I mean, I don't know. There's a chance. It's a very low chance. I would love to see Mad Lions beat them. That would be
Not
that would
even
be
Cloud9.
awesome.
No possibility.
Well, no, Cloud9's not in the same bracket, so Cloud9's on the other side of the bracket. Cloud9 is facing Gen.G, and I think they can win. I don't think Gen.G is gonna roll over and die. I think they're a pretty strong team. They have I think mid lane for Gen.G is really strong, and mid lane for Cloud9 is one of the weaker parts of the team. So I don't think that like, or in the early parts of the game at least. Um, so I think that they're an interesting matchup. I'm curious to see how they match, but they can win. And then there's like RNG versus EDG, and that's kind of a toss up. I think that historically RNG has beaten EDG, but I also think that RNG is like slumping right now, so I think that EDG could win. And then technically, they're like, whichever team wins that matchup is kind of like a wild card to win the whole thing. Like maybe they pull it out, but I think LPL in general has been slumping really hard. So I think that one of the two top dog LCK teams is gonna win.
Well, I mean, LPL, it's probably their last year of coming through and going hard because their talent pool getting completely destroyed with the 1 hour gaming per day.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think that. I don't know anything about that, so I can't speak on it, and I
Ah,
refuse
okay.
to speak on it. But
Okay. You know what? That's fine. That's probably for the best. Well, coming from my personal opinion, NA's gonna be on top, baby. You're
True.
losing all your kids' skills by stopping them from gaming. That's why we're gonna be on top.
Facts,
Actually, it's gonna go over
facts,
to
facts, facts. True.
it's gonna be LCK. They're gonna just take over the entire APAC. It's pretty much done. So, oh well. Anyways, moving on. Are you studying the stats of Worlds, or like what is the job of an analyst during the off season, during Worlds when you're not participating?
I mean, for me, so far, the job has been nothing. I mean, I'm just kind of here. Um,
That's how
I'm
I
like
feel.
watching.
But like
I'm watching World.
not even just working though. That's just that big mood.
Yeah,
What
just
are we doing here, you know?
yeah. Who knows? Just ethereally floating around in the space of life, and that's what's going on right now. No, I mean, I'm watching Worlds. And I'm watching it pretty closely. Sometimes I'll do some like the other day I was making like the same maps I was showing you before. Excuse me, sorry. I was making them just to get a good read on how junglers are pathing right now. And I was talking to like when I was saying I was getting back into the meta, like I would talk to like some pro players and talk about like certain matchups because there's some new champions popping up in certain roles like the Tryndamere matchups in mid or like Vex who's a new champion's coming out talking about like um jungle stuff like the new assassin junglers like Zed, Talon, Kiana, etc. Just like talking, I'd reach out to a player and we talk for like an hour. I have like a little spreadsheet that I put together and just talk about some matchups so I can learn how things are changing. And then, but other than that, I'm just watching the games. There's not much to do. I'm just a spectator, just having fun.
Are you talking to CLG pros or are you talking to everybody in the league?
Mix of both. Like the other day, I was talking to Alex, who's RJS D&D god or Deus. I don't remember. I think it's RJS. I don't. It's one of the two. I can't remember what he's going by now. Um, but talking to him basically about mid lane matchups. The other day, I was talking to a pro from a different team. His name's Why Not, talking about jungle matchups. Sorry, just getting some messages. Um, and then and just like putting like little data together just for myself so I know how certain matchups go. I like more isolated so that I can see how they go in the bigger picture of the team comps that are drafted.
I've been watching and checking out your Twitter, and recently you seem to be a bit I wouldn't say particularly happy about changes that are being made by Riot in terms
Oh,
of
the
League of
tweet that I
Legends.
just made right now.
The tweet you made just right now? What are your thoughts on the current changes that Riot is making to League of Legends? I'll read off one that you just did. Let me check it
Uh,
out.
uh, I mean, um, everything is fine. We've always been at war with Eurasia or whatever the quote is.
I'm
We're
worried for
doing
the
great. Everything
future
is great.
of League under
Okay.
its current leadership if they continue in this direction. Not gonna lie, it feels like they have no grip on their video game at all. And then there
I
was a
mean,
quote tweet on a
it's just
change
the
of first
truth.
strike, and it's just ha ha. Can you expand on
It's
that?
just yeah, I mean, that rune is fucking ridiculous. Who in their right mind thinks that's a good idea? That's just crazy to me. 100% gold granted for first hit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? Guys, are we insane? Are we crazy? Do we not think about the ramifications of what that would mean, especially as the game goes on? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just very, very silly.
that sounds insane for like a must pick rune. I don't know why anyone would not want to bring that up, especially if you're trying to get the gold advantage. It's all about that. That's going to give you the gold advantage. Or maybe if everybody has it, it doesn't really matter because everybody's OP.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, realistically, I don't know. I can't really say too much. I don't want to step on any toes. I'm sure there are very nice people at Riot who are working very hard to make their game better. But guys, this is not it. That ain't it. That's not how you do it. I know you want to make the game spicy, but maybe don't break it. Is all I'm asking. Because some people's lives depend on this job,
A
or,
lot,
or
quite a bit.
some people's jobs depend on this game. Is what I meant to say.
Well, well, maybe if you're in the underground gambling scene, some people's lives depend on this game as well.
Yeah, I
We
guess
don't
so.
know what's going on. So what is one change that you would want to see implemented in the game? If it could be
Dude, please stop making dragons so fucking strong. Like, go back, go back. People cannot play any sort of like fucking split push style because dragons are just too strong. You have to group and you have to fight for them. Like, please. But they're just making them stronger. So I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sure other people have different opinions, but like, you can't. I don't know. It's just like that's just my opinion.
what are your
Like,
thoughts on the new
you can't.
dragons, the Hextech and the Chemdrakes?
I think they're stupid personally, but I know. I mean, there's some people that like them. I just think that like adding more of this like RNG, adding more of this like we have to fight for this thing. Like it just it railroads the game and it makes it less interesting. Like there used to be, you used to be able to like sack an objective in order to make a play across the map. You still can do that technically, but like not really. It's not like you can't. It's not like a meta. You can't like do that as like your style. Like it's like a reactionary thing that happens sometimes. But like there's not a lot of creativity left in the game because you just have to like play for the subjective every time. You can't just give it up. And so like, and I understand that like in a way that's not bad, but the game just used to be more fun when that wasn't the case to me from like a macro perspective. I mean, it's still really fun now. Like team fighting, obviously, is still really fun to watch, and like the Worlds games this year have been the most fun they've been like ever. But uh, the game itself, I don't think is as fun as it used to be.
You know, just looking at those maps that you made, it made me think, oh man, I actually really want to play some League of Legends right now. And watching Worlds, I'm thinking, oh man, I want to queue up for some LoL. I want to get in there. And then I'm thinking, like, wait, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to play? No, no,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't want to do
I don't
that.
want to shit. I don't want to shit talk the game. I love the game.
Oh,
The game is
as do I.
really
I
fun.
love that game, but
But
I hate playing it, and I hate the feeling it gives me when I'm playing it because I love it, but I also hate it at the same time. You know, it's just
what I always say to people is, the reason why I love the job that I have is because I love League of Legends, but I hate the players. And so that's like that's why I just work behind the scenes. I just
it's
look at the game and I don't that's why I don't like playing it.
it's
But
the perfect gig. You know, the same thing happens to me when I'm doing some commentary work. I'm casting the game, I'm seeing the gameplay, I'm enjoying the awesome plays, and I don't really have to deal with the players in the game. Because, you know, they're going to be nice to me if we bring them in for an interview after the match. They're not going to teabag me. They're not going to talk shit in all chat. I'm safe from
hey,
all of that.
listen, you know, don't speak too quick, bro.
Well, most of the time they don't even know who I am. So, like, unless they put in all chat or spray out in like a bullets in the wall saying that I suck, I think I'm generally safe until they say my name on the timeline. But I think at this point I would be considered not significant enough to warrant a tweet for now.
We just gotta keep grinding. Gotta get there.
Until I get haters, that's what I know. If I don't have haters, I'm not winning.
Haters are real, dude. Sometimes I'll just tweet something and then just like a random fucking no name, like, you know, username numbers, like, there's like random people with like no profile pictures just comment and just like say some, like, they're like, oh, kill yourself. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry for existing. That shit is real. And it gets worse the more popular you get in the scene. Like for players, it's fucking insane.
I bet on TikTok, anytime I would make a Valorant tier list or something, people would say, "This guy's iron. This guy's an idiot. You don't even play well. You suck. You don't know what you're talking about. This tier list is shit." And I have to like tell myself, "No, you don't need to prove yourself to them. They don't matter."
I mean, any tier list is going to make people unhappy. That's just the way tier lists go, but they're great for engagement.
That is true. Have you ever had as like a collective team, since you have CLG in your name, have you ever had people after a match like talk shit about you or the org in general?
Oh, I mean, I don't have CLG in my account name. I play on an account that's just a random name.
Oh no, I mean on your Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Like people will just be super disgusting, especially during season. Like I'll tweet something unrelated to the game and they'll just comment under it and be like, "Oh, kill yourself." I'm like, "Okay, guys, maybe we chill. Like let's not do that."
Okay, well, I also want to talk about a particular thing that caused a big uproar on social media. It's when a few months ago there was a discussion about potentially benching the roster, and there was a major social media
Mhm.
backlash when it was posted in like a Bud Light video. Did any of that catch you? I know it's a different department, but like, how was the entire team feeling about that one incident?
Oh, I mean, I don't think anyone thought that that was a good idea. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Like, I don't know if it got lost in like, meetings or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure right afterwards everyone was like, "Hey guys, maybe we don't do that." And then they were like, "Yeah, okay, we're gonna delete the tweet." So, like, I think that that was just a, I don't know. I don't really have a comment.
Okay. I mean, yeah, totally understandable. But I also want to know what are the decisions that are made when it comes to potentially benching a whole roster, a singular player, bringing someone else on? What are the steps and, decisions that are made to come to that?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not a general manager. I mean, it's like it depends on the team, depends on the environment. I could not tell you. Like even if I wanted to, I have no idea.
All right. I also thought that when you do scouting reports, does that have any effect on actually scouting a player, or it's just scouting out enemy teams to try and have better tactics on them?
It's mainly the latter. I mean, the verbiage gets kind of like tangled up in esports a lot, where like certain things mean one thing and also another thing, but in my case, it's one thing kind of thing. Like I'm scouting enemy opponent teams. I don't I don't actually know who does scouting for CLG as far as like scouting talent. Um, I mean, realistically, I'm looking at players. You know, last night I was on an analyst desk for like an in-house thing. Like I'm like looking at players, but I don't know who's like officially doing it for CLG basically. But what I would do basically is I just have like notes on players on how they play, like kind of similar to what I do in like a scouting report, but just like because realistically, when you're building a roster, you want it's not you can't just like take the best players in each role, like the quote unquote objective best players in each role. Um, you have to think about like how those players play. Like, remember when I wrote that had like the notes for Jenkins for TLA? Like, you want to think about how each piece of the team that you want to build plays and whether or not they actually fit together, or like if they actually fit together with each other, um, like as a unit. If you were to put together that team, and so mainly noting like how each player plays, like what their sort of style is, what their champion pool is, what their like archetype of player is, what sort of quirks they have, especially like in comms, like or like when they're in person. If you're doing like an in-person combine or something like that, and then you put together the team like that.
I want to take it
I
back
don't know.
to something you said
Yeah.
a little while ago. You were on an analyst desk. Is that like a broadcast analyst desk?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like if you were to watch like I don't know, like if you're watching Worlds or whatever, like how they have the analyst desk before the game and after the game.
Yeah, of course. I've actually done one of those myself while not being a expert in League of Legends. I don't know how I managed to get in there, but just a little bit of finesse. What is it like being on that desk? Does it feel natural to talk about what you already know and the skills that you've developed as an analyst?
I mean, I was on it with my friend and like coach. He like coaches the academy team, Benji, and we were kind of just talking. Like, I mean, it wasn't good TV, I would say, but it was a candid look at like how we would talk about the game. And then, well, it wasn't good TV for the first round because we didn't have the host with us. Um, so we were just like kind of talking. We weren't like, you have to kind of be a performer to like do that those segments and stuff. Or like you have to understand, I don't know, stage concepts, and I kind of do, but like him and I were just like talking about the game basically, and then they were like, oh, we should get the host in there with you guys, and we were like, yeah, we don't do this, like we're not professionals or anything, like you guys gotta direct the flow of conversation, like ask us questions and stuff, otherwise we're just gonna fucking word vomit, and like it's not gonna be good TV. So but as the night went on, it was fine. Yeah, we were just chilling.
Would you ever consider doing that again and consistently?
Mm-mm. No, I don't really like it. Um, I'd rather just. I mean, it's just a lot of like. I'm not someone who thinks fast. Like, I prefer to have some time to like look at things. Do research if I need to, and like, uh, and just like step back and not be under pressure when I'm like having to think. Um, and when you're on air, like you have to just like say stuff sometimes because there's no time not to, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course.
and if you don't like have enough time to think about it, then sometimes you just say stuff that you know is wrong, but you just like say it because you needed to fill the space. Um, and so I don't like that at all. I think that's not how I want to like. it's just a lot of pressure. I just don't like it.
It definitely is, and it makes me think. Literally last night, I was doing a post game interview, and it was my turn to ask the question because my desk partner he already asked the last one, and you take turns. And I was trying to say like, were you feeling confident going
I
into
saw
the
that. I saw that tweet that you posted. Yeah, are you feeling engorged? What did you say?
engorged?
Are
Are
you
you feeling
engorged? Yeah.
engorged with confidence? And the
Yeah.
second that came out of my mouth, I saw on the guy's camera, he was just like, uh, yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
uh because normally I'm good with that, but sometimes you just go blank. Like I couldn't find the word for full. Like I just were you feeling engorged? It was
I mean, that's how. I mean, literally, my brain does that all the time. Like, I just like now, like it just shuts off for a sec, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait for you to get me an answer to this question that I have to ask. Like, and it happens all the time.
yeah, like I knew the word that I was looking for. It was right in my head. It just said say full, say full, say full. And then nothing happens. But it's part of the job getting some shit wrong, but that's okay. But that's fine. You're on not the performance side, you're on the analyst side, but you actually come from a bit of a performative background. You went to Berkeley College of Music and you started out as
I
a
thought you were gonna talk about
songwriting.
the fact that I thought you were gonna talk about the fact that me and Tika used to do the plays in high school.
Well, actually, I'd like to talk about that now. So you
That's
do have a
funny.
performance background. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I just don't like doing it. Like we did. I mean, we did it for fun, but I don't know. It's not my thing for
So you,
sure.
so you can't dig deep way back into many years ago of high school theater.
No, I mean, I've performed a lot, like music wise, but it's not like there's no pressure for me to perform music. That's like what I know. It's like my life. But like when I have to just go on a stream and uh, like if I I don't know, it's just the amount of focus that it takes for like 3 hours. It's just like a lot. I just don't want. I don't know. It's not enjoyable. Like I'll do it. I can do it, but it's not enjoyable. That's why I would never. Because your original question was, would I do it as a profession? Absolutely not. That's not. I don't like it. You know.
Because of the fact that you just don't enjoy. You may be good at it or have the knowledge to come with it, but just from an enjoyment standpoint,
Yeah.
no shot.
Exactly. I just don't enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, I was actually going to bring up that you were into music. So how did a student of music transfer over into analyst work? You were also a music teacher for a while. How did
Yeah.
you make that switch?
I mean, before I was in music, I was um like when I was in high school, I studied computer science, and then I got a job working at it's like a bank, or it's like a security company that did security for banks, basically. And they had me writing code for them. I was like 16 at the time.
I thought you were about to say you were a
Um,
security guard. I was like, wait, don't they have like guns when
no,
they go there?
no. But I was like basically I was writing code that made their code faster. Um, but I just like didn't like it, so I quit, and then I got into music. That's like how that happened. I was like 17, I think, at the time. But like that before I did music, I was into a lot of like math shit. I was gonna be a math teacher actually before I went to Berkeley. Um, but then I moved to Boston. I studied music and then I like taught music for like 5 years or something. And then my friend introduced me to this game, and I moved home, and then because I moved home because I was gonna move to Denver to start my own little teaching company, and then COVID hit, and I was just stuck at home. And so I just played League, basically, and then that was I don't know, and then I just got really into League because I was like, well, I can't teach music anymore, so I might as well find something else to help me survive, basically.
What was the moment where you decided like, oh, I could probably turn this into a career?
I wasn't really worried about that. I was just doing it because I really liked it. Um, Like, I always knew if I needed to, I can go back to teaching. Even if I didn't think it was a good idea with COVID and everything. Like, I don't think teaching online is like really good for music, but and I could do it if I really needed the money. But I was just getting into league because I really enjoyed it. I was really passionate about it. Basically, I didn't really care about like whether or not it would be a career until it was.
I mean, that's awesome to kind of just fall into such a awesome, a top tier org working for them as an analyst. And you said that.
Well, hold on, because I wouldn't say. I mean, it's a very, very important distinction. I didn't fall into it. I worked really fucking hard, but it's just I didn't care. Like I was working that hard because I wanted to, like because yeah, I just enjoyed it. Like it's the same reason. Like, or, I mean, I guess I don't know your intentions, right? But like it's the same reason why you have all this whole setup for the stream. Like most streamers don't have to do this, but you're doing it because you're passionate about it, right? Like it's just the way it is. And so, but it's a lot of hard work to do the work I was doing, the work you're doing. Like it's not like you don't just fall into success. Like that's this,
Well,
in an
I think I
industry where there's like
misrepresented the question there, where you came into a game that you wouldn't have expected to turn into something that much more.
right, yeah, that's fair.
So you're based in Boston, right?
No, no.
Oh,
I mean, I'm about to move out west, in like a month or so, depending on the next contract. But I live in New Jersey right now.
oh, okay. Yeah, I was going off that Twitter location, but
Oh, yeah, so it probably still says Boston. I haven't changed it in a while.
so all of this analyst work has been remote.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that so is it all like through Discord calls and just, or is it more of a Slack thing? I always imagine that
It's all
esports orgs
Discord.
are Discord.
Yeah, yeah. Slack is not an esports thing.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much, but I also imagine, like, is it weird with many of the organization being located out west, but you're remote, or is it a lot of the team that is remote as well?
No, it sucks. I wouldn't recommend. I mean, being remote sucks, honestly. It's much nicer to be able to be with the team because conversations are a lot better when you're just like in person with someone. Um, and it's also nice to have a place where you can go to do work and then you go home and you don't do work. Whereas for me, it's like my room is my office, so like you know, it's hard to have a good, healthy work-life balance when that's the case.
So I guess you're definitely excited about moving out west, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Very happy to finally have the means to do it.
I saw a lot of footage of LA, and that's where League of Legends, the league takes place. A lot of the footage in your music video for Like a Legend features LA, and it features League of Legends. Was that inspired and written based for League of Legends, or was it something that it just vibed well with it?
Yeah, yeah, it was. That was a little collab with the support player for FlyQuest. His name's Diamond. He did like the beat, like the instrumental part of it, and then I just wrote the lyrics and the and did the top line of the like vocals. Um, and yeah, it was written as like a League of Legends, hype song.
Yeah, well, when you get out there, as you continue to work with CLG, I also have a potential hype song that you could use to motivate the players. Hold on, I'll be right back. I know you're a fan of the axe as well, so we can potentially bring this one on over. Hold on, let me get the lyrics right. Okay. I'm not using it. Okay, here we go. Come on, CLG.
What is
Work
going on?
real hard and get the GG. Come on, CLG.
Holy shit.
Work real hard and get the GG. Going on down to the Summoner's Rift. But I'm on the side, I'm an analyst. Who's got the ganks? Where's the jungler? He's flanking down mid. Yeah, he's got your number. Come on, CLG. Everybody, work real hard and get the GG. Come on, CLG. Work real hard and get the GG. His name is Beora. He's got the strats in store. Yeah, he comes up with new strats, and that's a fact. Come on, CLG. Work real hard and get the GG. Yeah.
It's like when you know people are singing happy birthday to you and you're just standing there and you're like, I don't know what to do. It was a wonderful song. Very creative lyrics.
Thank you. I wrote that yesterday. I thought you would like it. And feel free to use it, to remix it, or you don't have to credit me. I will be okay with that as long as it gets use and it can bring the smiles or cringe faces of anyone else who has to hear it. That'll make me happy.
That's North American content, honestly.
That
should be on LCS.
That is North American content. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show we have. Beora, thank you so much for coming on to this show, but unfortunately, this is going to be all the time that we have for this interview. So before we send you off, where can the people at home find you?
You can just find me on my Twitter. Twitter.com/_Beora.
There you have it, folks. Twitter.com/_Beora. You can say his name either way, but make sure you get the underscore right. Thank you so much, Beora, for coming on to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you at home and in the studio right now, we appreciate you for coming to the show. So follow this man, follow his progress, and don't tell him to kill himself online, because that's just rude. Always go for that CLG fighting. Come on, baby. But that will be the show. So we will catch you on the next one, the same time, same place, twitch.tv/handsomehostlos. You better be here next week. You better be here for Late Night with Los. But until then, thank you and good night.